I want to talk about Mexican nationalism. As you know, a lot of Mexicans are talking about race, and they're talking about large parts of the United States being part of Mexico still. Why? Because they see Native Americans as being Native Mexicans. They look alike, and therefore part of the United States, or the whole of the United States, and even Canada for some people, belongs to Mexico. Now that is nationalism combined with race, and that is exactly the same as National Socialism, Nazism. Hitler, as you know, started out saying that Austria is a natural part of Germany. Then he started saying, oh, the corridor in Danzig is a natural part of Germany. Then he started saying, oh, the Sudetenland is a natural part of Germany because there's many Germans living there. Well, the Mexican nationalists are also saying that. They're saying, oh, there's a lot of Mexicans in the southwest of the United States, therefore it's a natural part of Mexico. Native Americans were in the United States first, so therefore they are Native Mexicans, therefore the United States is our land. Now with this Nazi approach, Mexican nationalists are just making Americans very angry. But surprisingly, about 40% of the US population actually support this kind of nationalist talk from foreigners, in this case Mexicans. They support the fact because they also see it as a racial issue. Personally, if Canada was the country where a lot of Canadians are saying that half of the United States belongs to Canada, and there's 10 million illegal Canadians inside of the USA, I would have the exact same opinions about illegal immigration. It just so happens that Mexico is the one with all its people running across the border to find a job. Why? Because the Mexican government cannot even provide jobs and a strong economy for its own citizens. So they're going to leech off the United States, which they see as part of Mexico anyway. Even the president of Mexico is saying that exact thing. Now, if you have 10 to 12 million illegals in your country, that threat is greater than a group of Islamic terrorists across the world. You have 10 to 12 million people. They're inside the United States. They have the ability to influence elections by protesting a lot, by helping out in campaigns, by choosing a particular candidate. And when they're out demonstrating on the street, nobody knows if they're illegal or not because they're undocumented. The police doesn't know who they are, where they are, and you will never know. And if you ask somebody for papers, you're labeled a racist. Then you're accused of racial profiling. Okay, so you have a situation where you have 10 to 12 million illegals in your country. That means they're Mexican citizens that are inside of the United States without permission. Now, the United States has an army with maybe 500,000 people. And we're talking about 10 to 12 million Mexicans inside of the United States. Let's say half of them are men. So we're talking about 5 million people. 5 million. There are countries in the world with less than 5 million people. Now, what can be done? The Mexican government is encouraging its citizens to go across the border. Why? Because they will send back nearly 11 billion US dollars, which the United States government loses and the Mexican government gains. Now the United States can build a fence, and that will stop a lot of illegal immigration. But I've seen pictures of fences with giant holes in them. It's very difficult to patrol a border that is that long. You have a lot of American companies trying to hire illegals because they only care about the bottom line. They don't care about their own country. You have liberal Americans actually spouting off the same rhetoric as Mexican nationalists, if you can believe that. You have politicians pandering to Hispanics. I saw Rudy Giuliani say at a recent debate, a Spanish debate, that, oh, it must be so tough to be an illegal in the United States. Well, you're like a stowaway on a ship. Okay, you're not supposed to be very